We are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 40 to Level 1. I am one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy, and here with me, as always, is the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the Uncharted 3, and now Sonic the Hedgehog, Lyron Denier, the man of many names, but we just call him one, Andy.
Mr. Underker here, as always. I mean, I like Sonic.
You deny the power of Sonic.
I deny the power of Sonic's fan base.
Why? A 7 out of 10 for the Sonic fans is like a 10 out of 10 for anyone else.
I just can't believe there's that many people voting for Sonic as Game of the Year. It's
Because
very hard to believe that.
It's the best game we've had since the Dreamcast, but we'll talk more about it later.
I haven't played it yet, obviously. I will be playing it, but I haven't played it yet, so I can't comment on how good that game is.
Sounds more like a US though, but it is the best Sonic game we've had. But we'll talk more later. But we haven't been here for a while, so apologies. I haven't gamed much this week, but I do still have stuff to talk about because we haven't been on for like 3 weeks. But yes, I attempted to lift a glass shower screen, and my fingers now from here to here stitches, and I can't grip with it. So like I can't, and if it sits against something, it irritates it and it feels stingy. So I can see if I still did Master System or Mega Drive, I could probably still game, but see body controllers, because your fingers naturally go like that. The minute this starts doing that, it stings. So yeah, it's been difficult. I haven't gamed, I haven't wrote this week, which has been fucking frustrating because I like writing. My last article went up and it was about parry systems. And my last review, I think, was Evil West. Really good game. If you haven't checked that out, but we've got exciting stuff this week, Andy. We've got the Game Awards.
Yeah, Game Awards on Thursday. Who do you think's going to win Game of the Year? Sonic.
But the problem is, Genshin has got rabid fans. Genshin Impact, and they've promised something like free currency or DLC if they get it. So all their fans are like voting. But Sonic, the whole community is just united and being like, we can't lose this. And he keeps questioning it because he's the Sonic denial these days. I actually said to Leo, my son started playing with my plush toys from the 90s because they were sitting on top of the Christmas box, so I just brought them down. And your one was in his room anyway. And he pointed and said, oh, more Sonic. And I went, we don't play with that one, son. That's from a Sonic denier. We'll leave that one where it is. So it's funny to see the differences in the plush, actually, because mine was probably the first Sonic plush that was available in this country anyway.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
But it's from back in the day, if you hit your younger brother with it, it would fucking hurt. Like, it would move his head. See soft toys these days, you don't budge if they hit you, but see that? I didn't think, and I threw Tails across the room at Lexi, and it totally smacked her head and nearly floored her. I'm like, yeah, this is back when they had a proper weight to them. So I had Sonic, because I got Sonic 1 with my Master System 2 and Sonic Plush. 1991 Christmas, the year that Sonic 1 came out for the Master System. Best Christmas. And then the next year, I had my Mega Drive already because I bought it in November because Sonic 2 Mega Drive, it was everywhere. I was like, I need this, Dad. And then I got Tails in my stocking that year because obviously I used the Mega Drive as part of.
Yeah, I didn't realize, as you did back then, yeah.
But I was still believing in Santa, but I didn't realize I didn't get a big present from Santa that year. It's because obviously the Mega Drive was paid for in November because I was moaning so much about it. So yeah, it's weird to think that I only had the Master System for a year, but I've got so much love for that console. Really weird, because I came late to the game because a lot of my friends had them the year before me when we were like 4. And they had Alex Kidd built in. They all came round to mine the minute I got mine with Sonic. They were like, oh, this is far better than Alex Kidd. Of course it is. Take your Alex Kidd away. And anytime I go into theirs, anytime I go into theirs, I'll be like, if you bought Sonic, no, we'll just play it yours. And I'm like, well, I'm not coming into your house anymore. I'm not playing this.
And now we've discovered where Ali's anti-socialness came from.
Because all the fuckers bought Alex Kidd first. Yeah. But yeah, Game Awards, I'm not overly excited. I'm just more keen to see some of the trailers. Obviously, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, they said it was coming, and then Steam went, yeah, let's just put the page up with the date and everything, and the DLC content, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi featured, by the way. So I don't think
Solo as well. Han Solo as well.
Oh yes, no one cares about him. But like, I did, I didn't. I don't think he's going to be in the game. I think it's just going to be like costumes for Cal Kestis. I can't wait for this game, but it's out March 16th, so this trailer will hopefully show us some gameplay, but it could just be an extended CGI trailer again.
I don't know that it needs to show gameplay like for.
It's going to be
this
more
game.
of the same, isn't it? Really,
we know what the gameplay is going to be like. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's fine because the gameplay in like the first game was good, so I'm looking forward to the new one.
I've got some predictions though that could happen. You want to hear them?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Andy's game of the year, no matter what he plays, because he's set on it, because he's so happy he played a Souls game. Elden Ring is getting DLC out today. Combat Arena. Right? I don't think that's where it ends. I think there's going to be proper story DLC announced at the Game Awards. 100%. They'd be stupid not to. Fans went crazy for this game.
Yep.
It didn't vibe with me, but I think what really, I might go back to it in time. I think what really pissed me off was I was like, this was meant to be my co-op game. I got my co-op game and I enjoyed it this year with you, but Elden Ring was meant to be the one, and it wasn't. And
it was not.
Like,
no.
Like, I could at least have a laugh, like, fucking about if you were there. And now I'm like, it's no fun yourself. This world does not appeal to me. I think it will get story DLC. I really think it will get story DLC. Can you check our sound, by the way? It's usually fine in StreamYard. I just wanted to make sure that...
I can do, yes, I will.
Thanks. I didn't know if your PC at this point would blow up, because I have to make sure what device... you're checking your phone. Yeah, you don't want to open two windows in Andy's PC these days. So, Elden Ring, I can 100% see it's time. Story DLC. I don't think the story DLC will be this year, obviously. I think it will just be an announcement of, yeah, we're doing some more, because when you make something like Elden Ring, even for a company like From Software that are popular, if it hadn't worked, they wouldn't have made another. Like, even though people say that the Dark Souls games sounds okay, the Dark Souls games are like popular. That's very true. But if Elden Ring hadn't hit, then they wouldn't have done any more. But now, obviously, it's been mega successful. I think it's the biggest marketing push I've seen for any Soulsborne game. Bloodborne 100%. Came close. Bloodborne did come close because Sony were marketing that.
Yep.
Because Sony go insane with their marketing. But like Elden Ring story DLC to kind of tide things over, I can 100% see happening. So that's my first prediction, Elden Ring DLC. Obviously, we got Sonic Frontiers DLC announced with a roadmap, which was unexpected. But what that says to me is there's certain points in the game, and I've already spoiled this down, so minor spoiler, you have to rescue Sonic's friends, right? And to me, it would have made sense once I rescue, like, say, Tails, why can't I play as Tails now, right? And I think now that they're saying, oh, new playable characters, like, well, that was definitely meant to be a feature in the game, like rescue Knuckles, play as Knuckles. Yeah. Because what you have to do is, like, the side quests, you have to, like, collect, there's a MacGuffin in every area. Like, Amy, you have to collect the hearts, and then go back to Amy and she'll talk some more and you get some more exposition, story dump and stuff like that. And then once you've done enough, she'll be like, okay, I'm free, but she's not free. She's kind of half trapped. And I think the original plot plan was obviously freer, and then you can play as her, and then same for Knuckles. So it makes sense. So I don't think we're getting anything Sonic Frontiers. We might get a sneak peek at Sonic Prime because it's out on the 15th. And obviously, there's an early access viewing being hosted in the middle of Roblox, of all things. So I'm going to have to download bloody... Is it Roblox? I think
it was Roblox. Yeah, it was Roblox.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to download Roblox, which makes sense because they were doing that Sonic thing you liked.
I mean, I didn't like it. It was all right.
Yes, you did. You said you need to play this.
Well, I thought you should play it just to... Obviously, Frontiers is going to blow that out the water. Like,
it does.
Gameplay, so.
It does. I want to discuss it more in depth once you've played the game.
Yeah.
But I think we could see some Sonic Prime. We're definitely going to hear some more about the Witcher stuff because it's close. Because they've not went too in depth, and I'm like, why wouldn't they go in depth about this? And I'm like, oh yeah, the Game Awards, because there's no reason. It's out like in a week or two. So like, why not tell us everything? And all they've been like is, oh, there's some new quests. They've gave us base details. So CD Projekt Red
It's really cool they've added some new quests and stuff like that to it for people that have played it before. Like, obviously, you like I've barely played any of it in terms of the whole story. Like, I mean, I've put maybe 10 hours in, which is nothing for that game. and like you've completed the main story in one of the DLCs. Is that right?
I've finished the first DLC, but
Yeah.
Blood and Wine, I think I haven't finished. Hearts of Stone, I finished. Blood and Wine, I did.
Yeah. So you've still got
One-
another DLC to beat, but like it's cool for people that have done everything that they can now go back into it and they can play something new to them, plus
Yeah.
see like how good it looks now. And the only thing I've seen for Witcher is that they did Digital Foundry did put out a video that was the comparison of
Yeah,
the old version and the new version, which looks
But they had-
much better.
But I watched that as well, and all they gave them was 15 minutes of gameplay. They
Yes.
never allowed them to record their own
They
stuff.
never,
so-
they never allowed direct capture. It was just like, here's the footage for you. You can talk about it.
And
But
they've
it
not-
looks way better. Like, it
But-
looks way better.
Oh, it does, but here's my point. I don't think it looked bad anyway with the One X upgrade, but anyway, they haven't even shown off the Netflix outfit. They've not went, here's what it looks like. And surely that should be, it will be day one. Look, you can play as fucking Henry Cavill, soon to be the worst Hemsworth brother. But,
Yeah.
but like, this DLC was meant to be out over a year ago. But like, I think the Game Awards, they could show that. Here's what it looks like. Here's what the outfit looks like. Something, a small bit of gameplay and a teaser into what the Netflix missions look like, because apparently you can get like a reskin for Dandelion
Nice.
in the game as well. So toss a coin to your Witcher,
Great
oh
song.
Valley of Plenty. I can't wait for Blood Origin. That's more news. Witcher Blood Origin, because I've read two of the books now. I'm on the third. I'm as bad with my books as I am my games. I'm a gad about reading as well. So it's like you've never really seen the convergence when, like, you know, the worlds came together and the monsters appeared in our world. Blood Origin looks like it's going to cover that, and it's out on Christmas Day, Andy.
Nice.
So my kids can fuck off. No, I'll watch it. I'll probably, if it's up at midnight, I'll probably watch it before I go to bed. But so back to my predictions. My other prediction, obviously it's not really a prediction, but Death Stranding 2 seems kind of obvious at this point, and maybe something about the Xbox. I think we're going to get Kojima's Xbox exclusive, which is rumored to be a horror title, and we're also going to get Death Stranding 2, which I think will be PlayStation only again, 100%.
See, I don't know if we will see that because of this Metal Gear rumor. I just can't see Death Stranding 2 and like a Metal Gear game getting announced at the same time, because I know Kojima's not involved in that at all, right?
So why wouldn't it?
But he's not going to want his game to be overshadowed by Metal Gear, which I think it
former
would be.
Unless he's been taken on as a consultant.
A consultant, yeah.
Which would be the smartest fucking move Konami could do.
100%.
Being made by, say, Blue Point Games that done the fantastic Demon Souls, and executive consultant or executive director Hideo Kojima back on board. Then he's a winner. Then Kojima hits 3 times. First ever Xbox exclusive, Death Stranding 2, and then you get everybody back on board with Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way I think that all those things happen if Kojima's involved in Metal Gear.
Yeah, I'll agree with. I'd be surprised if he isn't, man. I'll be very surprised if he isn't. But the strange thing is, the rumours were heavily that it was Metal Gear Solid 3. And now I'm seeing Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's the smart one to remake. Like, that's the one everyone loves it. Like, there's not... I've never heard a single person say a bad word about that game ever.
I was thinking about it, right, the other night. Because obviously one of the most iconic moments in that game is when Psycho Mantis like read your memory card. You had to change the controller to the second port. He could go so much further. He can read like other games that aren't even Konami now that's in your game library. But what if it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive and he could like lock your haptics up and stuff like that?
That would be cool.
Do you know what I mean? That would be awesome. So I was like, there's so much they could do, because I've got a sneaky suspicion Sony are going to grab this as like at least a timed exclusive.
Yeah, I would think so.
100%. So that wasn't my prediction. What was my prediction? Oh yeah, Last of Us 2 director's cut. I think now's the time. We've just got our second Last of Us trailer, and that ties into a drunk by and the title of this episode that we're talking about. Do I regret it or not? That's the question. But like the Last of Us trailer looked pretty good. I agree with Andy though. If you've played this game, it just looked like scenes from the game, like Ellie walking across the board, like him meeting up with, what's his name, Bill, who's Nick Offerman in this. I was like, these are all scenes that I vividly remember. So I don't know if there's going to be much surprises. I think the cast is well picked. It looks like Last of Us. So Neil Druckmann's on as a writer, so it's being steered in the right direction. I would love him. This is one of the only things where I'm like, I don't want him to stick to the source material. I want him to
Yeah, I
surprise
think it
us.
would be cool if they did something completely different, but it does. Oh, I mean, it could just be that's how they've done it for the trailers, where they've showed you the stuff
Yeah.
straight from the games, and then once you're actually in it, it totally subverts your expectations. And
You
might do that.
you would think they have to keep the core elements, obviously the virus, everything like that. But then
Yep.
he's got to think there's going to be like at least 80% of my audience is gamers that have played this that are interested. I need to kind of change it a bit.
See, I think that they're doing the opposite from that. I think we've told an amazing story here, and like gamers love this. Is one of the best stories ever told, all time, great games, blah blah blah. There's billions of people that don't play games. Let's try and get them as well. That's what he's going for, I think. And he's like, I've already got an amazing story. Let's just retell it in a slightly different format and put it out on film or a TV show.
It will. I think that's the problem. I think it could be an amazing TV show for people like Tasha, who hasn't seen it,
It's not seen
hasn't played it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'll be like, it's all right, just because I've experienced it.
Yep. Like, there's no surprise. I don't think there's any surprises in this for us, to be honest. It'd be cool if they did, but I don't think there is.
Do you think they covered the entire first game in the first season?
Yes.
I don't, because there's only 8 episodes.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like bits of spending hours and hours like sneaking around and shit like that, and those bits will be 5-minute segments in the TV show.
So in 8 episodes, he's going to get her all the way to the Fireflies base in 8 episodes.
Yeah, I think so.
No fucking way. No way. 8 episodes, they maybe get to the part with the giraffe.
Okay.
Because that's kind of midway, I think.
And you think then they come back for like a season 2 to do the rest of it?
Yeah,
maybe.
absolutely.
It depends how much they want to kind of milk it.
Or they want to milk it. They've got Pedro Pascal on board. They want to milk it.
True, true.
The Walking Dead's finished, so they want the next Walking Dead. If it's a hit, then I think if it's a hit, it'll benefit us more, because I think then they'll be inclined to add more episodes and deviate from the plot a bit more.
Yeah, which would be good.
Yeah,
and people would probably go nuts about it, like big fans, but
because the thing is, the problem with it is there's only so much you could, because they do have human interactions in the Last of Us story anyway, but there's a point in the game where there's nobody human that they interact with apart from dickhead gangs, and I think you're going to need a larger cast of characters, so you're going to need a second, like a subplot going on almost as well, which obviously if they go into Last of Us 2, you'll get with Abby and Ellie, but like if they do the Last of Us 1 and they stretch out, like I think then, I suppose you've got the Fireflies and Marlene and stuff like that, like you could go in more depth with Bill. I mean, Nick Offerman's a good actor, and he seemed a cool character. Because you didn't see much in the game.
You could cover some of the stuff to do with the doctors and stuff like that as well, because obviously that would tie into like Abby's story if they want to do that in season 2.
Oh, they will.
So they might do a bit of that.
So that falls into my assumption of this is the time to capitalize on The Last of Us 2. Director's cut. And director's cut, people are like, oh, but what are they going to add? They don't need to. Director's cut's just PlayStation's new name for we've made it PS5 now.
Yep.
So I think it will happen, and I think by it being a director's cut, if you own Last of Us 2, you'll get the paid upgrade for like a £10 or £15, whatever it's been in the past for the other games. Because now's the time to capitalise, get the hype, because Last of Us Part 1 came out in the summer, June, July?
Yep.
So it's now had its time. Like, stick out the new one, and you're going to get a influx of people buying it because of the hype of the show.
Yep.
Because this show is one of those, this is how I know that they're putting big money into it. It's HBO and Sky's putting it out at the same time, 2 a.m. on Sky, as it is in America on HBO. So they don't do that.
I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. to watch Last of Us.
I'm going to, but like that's what I mean. Like, they don't do this for every show. Do you know what I mean? Like, only the big shows or shows they expect to be big, they do it on the same time as America. Most of the rest of them, it's like you can wait till it's all out, or you can wait like a week or like 2 days later or something. So I think Last of Us Part 2, 100%. I've got a funny feeling Nintendo's going to drop something. We're going to get something. There's all the talk, obviously, about GoldenEye coming to Game Pass during the show as well, because it's meant to be out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like,
I'm not interested.
It'll be fine to
Sorry.
play twice, 2 games, and you'll be like, fuck us.
That's my point. Is like nostalgia plays too big a part. See if it was a remake, a full remake, could be interesting. It's not. It's just the same game. So GoldenEye, everyone's going to be the same. Oh, it's so good playing GoldenEye again. It's so good playing GoldenEye again. Every streamer's going to play it for a week and then it's going to disappear.
The thing is, there's no multiplayer on Xbox, so
no, on the Switch there is. But
on the Switch there is, yes. More interested in that.
Yeah, I'll play it on the Switch, but like, I don't know. I've no interest in GoldenEye. Like at this stage in my life, like it's from fucking 1996, and I'm sorry, but it's from an age where first-person shooters hadn't formed themselves yet. Like 3D games, the graphics didn't age well at that point, and it's like, just let the memories be for some of these. And I'm a huge James Bond fan, and it's like, oh, that's sacrilege. You can't say that about. I can fucking say it about James Bond, and I understand more when people say Ocarina of Time is still their favorite game because Nintendo graphics are timeless for the most part.
Yeah,
but GoldenEye is not. Sorry, it's not.
No, it's not.
It was a realistic first-person shooter designed for a 64-bit console. Your TV remote has got more in it than the 64-bit.
Yep. Like that game came. The time that game came out, it was kind of like the half-point step between like Doom, like the original first-person shooters,
and
Doom,
like Halo and
Duke
stuff.
Nukem. No, not even Halo. Like Doom, Duke Nukem, like Wolfenstein. These things.
Yeah,
and
because
then,
it's still
like,
just a run in the screen like this.
Yeah, it was like halfway between that. And then like
Halo,
Halo and Call of Duty and that coming out. Yeah.
Well, Halo did the twin sticks.
Halo did it first. Yeah.
And then it was Medal of Honor, and the guy splintered away from Medal of Honor to make Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think that will happen. You could see something like, you're not going to see anything Mario movie. They'll maybe run the trailer again, but you might get like there's been a rumored Donkey Kong 2D game for ages. You might get that, maybe. But
yeah.
I think Nintendo's the least likely to show off anything because they prefer to do it in Treehouse things now.
I mean, they do announce games at Game Awards sometimes. Like Bayonetta 3 was announced at the Game Awards.
It's very true.
And it is out now, finally.
Metroid Prime 4 is not out.
No.
I'm sure that was Game Awards as well, though.
They could bring a trailer for Metroid Prime 4.
Get out.
Game doesn't fucking exist, does it?
It's not. It's not happening. Not in this generation. So Nintendo could have something. I would love to see Mario Odyssey 2. I'd like it's time. Like they're working on it now.
There's no way they're putting it out at the Game Awards. Like that's their biggest fucking property. They're not putting it out at Game Awards.
It's not the biggest property. Splatoon is, mate. Have you not seen those sales figures now? Splatoon has blown Mario out the water.
I mean, sure, in Japan, but like, what a wide.
Japan's a target audience, mate. They don't give a fuck about you.
Well, exactly. So why would they show something off the Game Awards like that? They wouldn't. They show something like Western, so like Metroid, big for a Western.
You're not going to get Metroid. It's not coming. I can guarantee you, Metroid Prime is not going to be there. Yeah, maybe don't.
Trilogy.
I don't know.
Trilogy. Metroid Prime trilogy.
If it doesn't, Jeff Grubb's got to shave his hair. Somebody brought it up and said it's not out yet, and he's like, the year's not finished. He's got a point.
Yeah.
They could literally go, it's available now on the eShop, like at the Game Awards, because it's if they're not doing the trilogy, and from what I hear, they're only doing the first one, they're working on it in stages, they could easily just say it's available right now on the eShop. Saves the physical release, the hype buys get more sales for it.
And then when the other 2 games come out, both digital, all 3 games are out, then they put out a trilogy.
Then they put out the physical version.
And then all the collectors buy it again.
Yep, that's exactly what that's Nintendo's format for a lot of these things. So yeah, I could see it as a stealth drop easily. I could see it Metroid, boom, there it is. There's definitely going to be a demo for something on PlayStation, or like it could be one of Kojima's things. He could have a playable. I don't mean to say playable teaser because that's PT, but he could have a playable. He could have. Well, that was a good thing to do. That was a cool thing. That was really cool marketing.
It was.
But he could have something like that. Kojima's the sort of guy that gets things like that cobbled together for these shows. So if he's showing off 3 games, you're going to be playing a sample of one of them by the end of the show.
See, the Kojima's funny because like last year, he announced a podcast. And this year, you're predicting he's going to have 3 new games. Maybe
I
this
think
is to
so.
make up for last year because he didn't have anything to show, and he's like, I'll just do a podcast for like
Well,
2 episodes.
technically, it's only two new. Well, one big budget game because he's not making Metal Gear Solid. I predict that he's
No,
going to be a
yeah,
consultant,
yeah.
which means they phone him, go, "Is this all right? Yeah, not bad. Do you want to come to the studio? Nah, see you next week." So Death Stranding will be the one he's working on because the Xbox one's meant to be a smaller project. It's cloud based, from what I heard, like a horror
Okay.
cloud based game. For some reason, he wants to do cool things with the cloud. Okay, Kojima's crazy.
Worked so well for Crackdown.
Crackdown wasn't the worst game I've ever played.
It did not deliver on its promise
It was
at
boring.
all. It was
What
boring.
did it promise?
So they promised fully destructible city.
You can destroy bits of it.
You could destroy the full city in one multiplayer mode only. That was it.
So
That was
they
it.
didn't lie, they just bent the truth.
They 100% lied because in the first trailer they showed off, it was like fucking skyscrapers going and all this.
That was from
And
that game mode.
that shit was just not. It wasn't. It didn't happen. It was like even the buildings you could destroy, they were like fucking made of glass. Like they just tumbled and went away. They were like
Is
digital.
that not because they
constructs.
used the cloud to power the city or something?
Yes, they failed miserably at their thing. The game was okay.
But
I never
it
finished
wasn't.
it.
It wasn't made by Kojima.
No, it wasn't.
Like,
Kojima, you've got much higher standards for, I think.
if the game's not good, he's going to make it so batshit crazy that you don't understand it, so you don't know if it's a bad game. He's just like, you don't.
Has he ever made a bad game, Kojima?
Yeah, Death Stranding.
I liked Death Stranding, so I don't give you that one.
You don't need to give me it. It is a bad game.
I'm pretty sure it's got a good Metacritic. Pretty sure it's got a good Metacritic, and a lot of people liked it a lot.
Grand Theft Auto 4's got a good Metacritic.
Yep.
So your point is invalid. Metal Gear Solid 5 was shit, but he done that kind of in protest to Konami because they were kind of being a dick to him at the time. He's not really done much outside of Metal Gear, to be fair.
He did games before that, though.
Yeah, no, but that's going back before we were born. Like, Metal Gear came out in the 80s. Since Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, and then Metal Gear Solid, like, Metal Gear Solid's what, 96, 97, right about then? And you had, like, Metal Gear 1 and 2, like, 81 and 87, maybe, something like that, I don't know. One was in the MSX, it was that old. No doubt he did, or he worked on other games, maybe not as lead producer or whatnot, but...
He did Snatcher.
Oh yeah, on the Mega CD.
And he did Penguin Adventure and Antarctic Adventure.
I mean, since Metal Gear Solid in the 90s, he's not worked on anything else apart from Death Stranding. Well, PT Silent Hills, but it got cancelled.
So, yeah, no, he's really not made anything else at all since he made Death Stranding.
That's what I mean. But yeah, most of the time, these games are shit hot.
Yeah.
Then you're a postman.
Shit hot and batshit insane.
And then you're a postman.
I'll stick by Death Stranding. Like, I thought it was a good game. Like, it wasn't the best game ever, but like I liked a lot of aspects of that game.
I want to finish it because I like Kojima, but I can't. Every time I put it on, I'm like, I don't know what's worse, the boring scenery or the random ass music or constantly falling over. Like, so shit.
Falling over 100% is the most annoying fucking thing.
It reminds me of the Uncharted bit and when you had the DualSense.
And to balance on the beam, yeah.
But at least that game only made you use it one time.
Yeah.
We're going to teach you to use a mechanic that doesn't come up in any other part of our game. So yeah. Anything you think? Well, when you're talking about that.
I mean, I think that Metal Gear thing, I think that's going to happen. Last of Us 2, yeah, I agree with you there, definitely. I don't know. There's probably DLC coming for this or that. Probably like now, drops now type thing. I would love to see both Microsoft and Sony there, like pinging out stuff onto Plus and Game Pass. I'd love to see that. Like, that's always cool to see. But I don't know if we will see that. I can't see us getting anything big like drop like it's out now. But there's got to be stuff for next year because next year, like some of next year is a bit empty, and I think there's got to be some big things to be announced for that. And Jeff Keighley seems to be bigging this up, like, oh my god, this is fucking nuts, sort of shit. Where he didn't do that at all for his summer one this year, and there was nothing announced at that whatsoever. But for this year, he's been going, oh, this is good. I think we'll see something new from Joseph Fares from Hazelight. You know, the guy that does the co-op games. Remember the prison game that you couldn't play? A Way Out? I will be right back. Yeah, A Way Out. And they did It Takes Two a year or two ago. I think that they've probably been working on something, and this probably get announced now, I would imagine, because It Takes Two has been out for I think it's a couple of years now, and it's coming to all the platforms. Like it's out on Switch and everything now. Like it just came out this year, so I could see them definitely putting out something for that. Aside from that, who knows? It could be anything. Obviously we've got like Call of Duty and that's already out. Battlefield's out. It's on Game Pass. It's nothing to announce there. Maybe DLC, probably not. Can't see EA doing that. Jedi Survivor, we've seen already. They've put out their release date and whatnot. Yeah, I think there will be big things, but I honestly don't know. I'm excited to be surprised. I think you'll see Metroid Prime 4 trailer, definitely. Maybe not a release date, but I think you'll see a trailer for that for the first time. Big Reggie Fils-Aimé coming back. I think he'll be there, showing that off. Well, in fact, no, he's not even with Nintendo anymore. But they will have him to give an award, maybe. I forgot he was away from Nintendo. Can't remember where he is now because he was at GameStop for a wee while. Where is Reggie now, Ali? Can you remember?
He is a consultant at a university. He just brought out a biography. GameStop.
He left GameStop. He definitely left them.
And he's
out of games now completely.
There was another gaming studio that he was involved in.
Zynga or something like that. One of those type of ones.
Yeah, like Tencent Zynga, something like that.
Yeah. I think he will be there, but obviously he's not going to announce a Nintendo thing.
he will be there. He's usually there.
Yeah, I think he'll give an award. But yeah, no, like I'm just excited to see what games they announce. I'd love to see new things, like brand new IPs that get me excited for next year.
What would tickle your pickle, right? Because you lied about the ideal game, because I bought you the ideal game a couple of years ago on Valentine's Day. You haven't even played it. And so what would the ideal game for Andy in 2022 look like for coming out next year? What would be like? Yeah, and it can't just be Final Fantasy 16. It has to be what type of game? And you can't say Fire Engine, where you get to live the life of fireman, because you own that game and you haven't played it because, well...
Do you know what I really want to come back? And I want to see this on VR. Light gun shooters. I want a new light gun shooter. Like House of the Dead, Virtua Cop, Time Crisis, any one of these type of games, something like that, on a VR. Like, see, PlayStation's bringing out a new VR. Fucking put a light gun game on that, a proper one, not an Until Dawn game or whatever. Don't want that. I want a proper light gun game playing as like a co-op or whatever. These type of things.
You could have a like Namco collection for the VR too, where you've got Point Blank, Time Crisis.
Yeah, amazing. I'd be like,
you walk in a virtual arcade.
Yeah, this would make me buy a VR. 100%. I've cooled my jets on the Sony VR because they don't have any games. There's no games there's like two games that are semi-interesting to me: the Star Wars one and the Horizon one. And like the Star Wars one looks really great, but the Horizon one, I'm like,
both 40-50 quid games, by
exactly that as well. Like, see if it's like 20 quid experience, then I'm more down for it. But
yeah,
50 quid. is mad for a VR game because you can only really play these games in short bursts. You can't spend 6-7 hours sitting playing like these. Like you could like God of War, Last of Us, or whatever. You can get right immersed in that. You can't do that with a VR. You need to come out to every hour or two. That's why fucking VR light gun shooters perfect because each level maybe 10-15 minutes, and then you can come out if you want.
See if they said they were doing another Time Crisis, they
That'd be
could
so
easily.
cool.
No, but they could easily do it not just in VR, but you have to buy the
Yeah.
gun because people saying, "Oh, but the light guns don't." We'll make another gun that does work with modern terms,
Yeah.
like, or it costs like 20 quid extra, and you get a sensor bar like the Wii.
Yeah.
Plugs in the USB port of the console. You need the sensor bar. There, your gun's working. Problem is fucking solved.
I mean, VR is the perfect solution for that, and I can't
No, but
believe
not everyone's going to buy VR because
Well,
it's
no,
dearer than the PS5 itself.
they're not, but I guarantee you that people that are buying a VR would buy these fucking light gun games. 100%.
Yeah, because there's nothing else out for it. But
well, that's it.
what I mean is, if they brought it out, it could be done. So the excuse of light guns don't work in modern tellies is bullshit, because it's like they could if they made a new version, and if they don't want to, just keep the old ones and give us a light sensor. That's all that's needed, because that's how it worked on the Wii.
Yep. But yeah, that's what I'd love to see in 2023, a new light gun game.
I'd pay, because the price would be much more. I paid £60 for Time Crisis, well, for my Christmas. That was back when Santa was no more, and it was like, yeah, there's money, go and buy a Christmas present. So it was Time Crisis, and £60 these days, you're talking about 120, like in comparison. I would say.
I don't think you could get away with charging 120 quid for a Time Crisis type game these days. That's why I think VR is perfect for it, because you can sell it for 20, 30, 40 quid even, and make it a 5-6 hour game that people replay for score attacks and whatnot. People will buy that and love it. But yeah, if you're talking about like putting an actual plastic gun and all that sort of shit in it, then yeah, your price is bumped and bumped and bumped, and you're probably looking at 100 quid.
I'd pay that. I'd pay 120 easily. I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. See if they said Time Crisis Remake, G-Con 45, PlayStation 5. Fucking take all my money just now. I don't care. I'd happily play it. But yeah, anyway, I can't see light gun games happening.
Yeah, I don't think they want to sell plastic guns either, is the thing.
Yeah, they would need a roadmap. They need to do it like a Zen pinball style thing with like interchangeable games, like new tables, new games coming in.
Not even that. I mean more from the point of view of like people don't like guns. In most of the world, apart from America loves guns.
America fucking loves guns.
America loves guns. Yeah.
No, they'd probably get a bad write-up if you'd done a game like Time Crisis. You would.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, it's encouraging gun violence or whatever. Yeah. But like, if you put it in a VR, then it's closed behind a VR.
Do you know what I always thought was mad?
Right?
In America, right, where guns aren't banned, the G-Con 45 was black, right?
Yep.
But see over here, where guns are banned, it had to be grey. Yeah. It had to be grey. So it looked shit, because the one in the arcade was black for Time Crisis. It was blue and pink for Point Blank. So I was always annoyed. I was like, why do I have to have a black gun when they're banned here? Like, but where they're not banned and it could be used as a fake gun, they're the same color. Never made sense.
I actually liked it as being a grey. I thought it looked good in the grey.
Matched the PlayStation.
The PlayStation, yep. And it was easy for police to go, it's not a real gun, it's a toy, like essentially.
One of the reasons I had to buy my DualShock at the time, with the Ape Escape pack, I think it was at the time. Was it Ape Escape? Whatever one it was. I don't even think it was DualShock.
It was Ape Escape. DualShock was Ape Escape, yeah.
Yeah. So it was that one, because in Time Crisis in arcades, they had a pedal, like for a car to duck, right? And in this, you had choices. You could use a pedal plugged into the second control port. You could use the button in the side of the gun, which didn't feel right, or you could use your other controller. I used my other controller to stand on to duck. So at Pam sweaty moments, I was stamping on a fucking 40 quid controller. And yeah, eventually that stopped working. I did down the line get pedals. Like, I kept Time Crisis to one. That was one game that lasted for the length of my PlayStation, like until I traded it in, like got a PS2. I loved my Time Crisis. It was such a good game, man. But I don't even think Project Titan was okay. It was PlayStation exclusive, but I didn't like any of the others. The last one I bought was in PlayStation 3.
Yep, same. Well, they haven't done one since then, have they?
No, but they have in the arcade.
Raging Storm or Raising Storm or something like that.
Raising Storm, yeah.
It
It had the machine gun.
It came with a pirate game or something as well.
It was like a bright orange or like gun, I'm pretty sure.
It was
And
with
it was a machine gun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is bollocks. So I did not enjoy that at all. Nah, there was something special about Time Crisis, but yeah, I want light gun games back, man. I love them. I'm not buying a VR to play them, but I'll tell you what, like if Namco said what I said then, it's like the Namco light gun classics for PlayStation VR 2, and it's like all the Time Crisis, all the Point Blanks, some other games, I'd be like, fucking give me it now. Like, just give me it. But anyway, moving on from the Game Awards, we'll move on to what we've been playing. And last week, I think the last time we were on, we'd finished Gotham Knights, or we were playing Gotham Knights. Well, we finished it now. I quite enjoyed it. It's not as good as any of the Arkham games. I think it's definitely more enjoyable if you're playing co-op with someone.
100%.
So I really enjoyed the game, man. Like, I don't have too much to say about it, really, because I think we pretty much covered it when we talked about what we thought about it the last time we were on. The story doesn't get very exciting. There's some cool moments in the story that I wish there was more of, like the bit when Clayface is jumping down the roads, and then like when you walk in on him, he's making a fucking movie. And the bit where Mr. Freeze stood out, like I remember that, where you had to go down and it froze the whole tower. That was pretty cool. I mean, like I remember those two moments. I don't remember anything that happened in Arkham Origins, but I still wouldn't rate this game over any of the Arkham games, really.
No.
I would say it's a medium game that's decent enough. If they add DLC, yeah, I'll play it. I know they've added the 4-player co-op stuff, but I don't know if you can solo that. All in, it was a decent, solid game. I had enough fun with it. I got the co-op experience I wanted this year, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun with it as well. I thought it was a good game overall. Like, not maybe like 7 out of 10, something like that.
Yeah,
it was good enough. And like I had good fun with it, and it played pretty much fine, and it looked. See, once you got used to the 30 frames, it was fine.
Yeah, 100%. It was fine.
No issue with it.
We're big on performance mode. This is the performance mode
definitely.
podcast, which is a better name for the show than 42.
It was marginally jarring for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after that, totally fine. Never even noticed. Never even thought about it.
Once it's your game you're playing every couple of nights, you don't notice it at all. It's like, yeah, that's fine. This is how it runs. It's like Avengers. You didn't notice it, and then when I told Andy on Avengers, that was the light bulb moment for me and you. I think when it was
for next gen, yeah, definitely.
Turn performance mode on, and you're like, oh, holy shit, yeah! Now these games feel like next gen games.
yeah. But like I went back through and I did all the collectibles and did all the challenges and stuff like that, and I platinumed Gotham Knights in the end. It took me maybe like it was 35 hours, something like that, maybe.
Decent length, yeah.
Decent length, which is fine. Like I 100% got my money's worth out it, and I had a lot of fun. Even just going around and getting the collectibles and that. I actually think that they didn't do as good a job with making you explore the city in the normal game, because there was so many areas that I went to getting collectibles, and I'm like, I've never been here, and this looks cool as fuck. like why has there not been like a fight here or something? Like I've been sent to, whereas we got sent to like the same places over and over and over again in the main game. But it would have been cool if they just branched out to go to those different bits. But yeah, it was really cool to go and see some of these like random places. Just with cool, but really, really cool designed buildings. And I feel sorry for the designers who made those buildings, who designed and made those buildings, and then no one's seen them unless they went for the platinum. Yeah, it was good fun going around and getting all the bits and pieces. I did have to use a guide to get all the, especially the pages. Pages was the one that took the longest, I think, because there was lots of them and they were all over the place. They were also annoying to collect because you had to find like these little triangle things on walls, and then they were kind of nearby to that. And there was one or two of them, even the guide that I was reading, like it was really bad telling you where the thing was, and like I just couldn't find them for ages. Eventually just like stumbling across them from going round and round in circles for like half an hour. But no, I thought overall I liked the game. Like I thought it looked nice, played fine, and it was cool to get to play in the Batman world, but not as Batman.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was a Batgirl game for me.
Yeah, I love Red Hood, so
yeah.
I mean, I'm going to play through this game as New Game Plus and do the whole thing solo down the line. I I'd like to think we'll get more DLC, but it just depends. I think it depends on how many sales it done.
Yeah. I played through the first few missions on New Game Plus because I had to do that to get up to the max level. Which is, I think it seems a bit pointless. Like, if you're gonna have New Game Plus included in like your trophy set, just make it be completed. Like, why just make you level up 10 levels and then you're like, that's you've done enough. See you later. Like, fucking commit to it or don't do it, like at all.
Yeah,
Silly.
or add in like a couple of trophies during New Game Plus mode, or an extra boss fight or something.
Yeah, because there was nothing new in New Game Plus at all. Like, apart from that, you could level up, as far as I can remember. Because it was a good few weeks ago now that I finished that off. But yeah, I liked that and finished that off. And traded that in, obviously, because I'm not going to play that again. It was annoying, though, because I was at 100% trophy completion for it. And then they put out that DLC, and that DLC has new trophies, so I'm not 100% anymore. Because it's the 4-player co-op stuff. They put out new trophies for it, which is cool because it's obviously free, but it means I'm not 100%. So I'll maybe go back one day if they put out actual like story DLC and try the DLCs. But I don't see them putting out story DLC for this. Can't see them doing it
Unless it was pre-planned.
unless it was pre-planned. Because I mean, it didn't sell that well.
Yeah, but the new DLC looks pretty good. It's just annoying that you have to have 4 people to play it because, well, as far as I know, because they've added Starro as a boss and you've got to capture him. And
Yep.
I'm like, that sounds pretty fun. See if they said
Yeah.
that was co-op. I'd have been like, Andy, pick it up when you can when it's cheap. We'll play through it again because I had enough fun in it that I would do that. Especially as you said, if there's trophies. But I guarantee you this is going to be you need 4 players or play with 3 randoms at least. And
if you're only playing with 2 randoms, it might not be so bad.
3.
Well, no, but like say if me and you were both playing it like with 2 randoms, it's not as bad that way.
No, because you don't need to speak to them, and me and you can coordinate stuff. But yeah. No, I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's definitely my game of year list. Probably won't be
in
in
the top 10.
Vault 42 because we need to speak about that. We will go into more details in our game of the year show. But I think we cut far too much time into talking about games last year by waffling on about what we're doing this year. So we will be talking about a challenge before we do our game of the year show. So we've been adding to it and stuff, and I'm still finalising details. Andy's had input this year, good input. It's became a monster, but good input.
It's like a hefty fucking challenge next year, man.
Well,
it's an endurance task next year.
And that's only what you know about.
Oh my god, what else is he
putting? Yeah. So I've got a Word document just now. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to make things a bit more fun because I've way overshot the mark. And there was some games that I've got about 3 or 4 games that I could go and play for half an hour or 2 and I've finished and I stopped playing because I'm like, these aren't even counting, so they're no fun. So I stopped playing them. I'm at like, 28 or something just now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I hit 24 months ago.
I'm at 22 currently.
You won't be that next year because you're not going to be playing like Soulsborne. Well, Final Fantasy. If Final Fantasy comes out next year, you're screwed. Yeah, but then again, you took like 8 years to finish Final Fantasy 15.
It wasn't not 8 years; it was 3 years.
It was a long time, man. 3 years to finish Zelda. Final Fantasy was longer than that.
3 years to finish Zelda as well, yeah. Maybe it was 4 for Final Fantasy. I can't remember.
It was a long time.
Maybe 5. No, 5. I think it was 5 actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a long time because you were like, yeah, I do like the game. It's just I get stuck at a bit and I get annoyed with it, and I'm like,
yep.
And you even went back with the invincibility suits and still get stuck, I'm sure.
I still got stuck. And I went back and eventually did it with the invincibility suits.
That game really annoyed me because I never played the DLCs and I wanted to because I loved the game, right? But the DLCs happen at the end of the story, and I'm like, remember I beat the story and then I got my PS4 Pro or Slim, and I didn't.
Oh, you lost your save, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't upload my save, so when I wiped my console and traded it and went back, okay, I'll play Final Fantasy 15 tonight. Where's my save? That was back when you had to manually save to make sure it was done.
Yeah.
And thankfully, PlayStation's now a lot better. But at the start of the PlayStation 4 era, it was not a good time for online saves for the PlayStation. No. You could lose them, and like I beat the game before they made that level 13, I think it was, easier, because remember folk complained it was too hard.
Yeah, I
And I was
still didn't
like,
like that when you had to do that. Didn't like that level
the
at all.
kind of
It's
the kind
terrible.
of stealth bits, and it's like it didn't suit. Final Fantasy 15 seemed more like a testing ground for a Realm Reborn and Final Fantasy 7 remake than a full game.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, what are we talking about there? Yeah, Game of the Year, next year's Game of the Year, Gotham Knights. So yeah, the next thing that we're going to speak, because the last time we were on, it was out the next day, is God of War Ragnarok. I finished off the original God of War finally. It was okay. I will let Andy talk more about God of War. I don't want to hear spoilers because I'll tell you where I got to. So there'll be minor spoilers for the start. I got to the bit after you find out. I'll try and be spoiler free. You find out who the bear is, and then you go home, and there's somebody waiting for you, and you have a fight.
I mean, that's at the end of the last game.
No, but you don't play those.
You don't
bits.
play that. No, you're right.
So
but that character is spoiled at the end of the last game, so I think you're more than fine to say who it is.
oh yeah, okay. I'll let you say it. Okay, but like
Thor. It's a fight against
yeah,
Thor.
Yeah, but like I've done that and I beat Thor, and then I had to go somewhere, and do you know the problem was? God of War looks decent enough in PS5 because it's got the Pro upgrade and it's got some PS5 enhancements on it. And I finished it 2 days before this, and I put this in, and I'm like,
doesn't really look any different, does it?
Doesn't.
No.
I'm not just being mean to it. It looks, but that's a testament to how good God of War 2018 looks.
100%, yeah.
Honestly, I played this like 2 days after I finished God of War, or 3 days after. It was quite close, and I'm like, this is annoying because I want it to be blown away, and it looks the fucking same, and I'm blaming the PlayStation 4 for that. Like honestly, it looks the same. It looks the fucking same, and that's the problem. Is I just beasted through the game to finish it in time, right? And I'm like, great, cool. Now I'm up to scratch. I can play the new one. I put the new one in, and it's like, this is the same area. I've just been here.
Yep.
Just done this.
Same fucking area.
It's the same snow. It's the same guys making the weapons. It's the same. Why? I went, I don't want more of this. I want new hotness. I want Kratos in the jungle or something now. I don't want him to be there.
So they do branch out in the game, but there is a good few hours of snow first.
Yeah.
I think it's at least 5 hours of snow before you get to anything else.
I'll get, like, the thing is, I'll get to it. I wasn't as desperate for this as I was the first one. Like, the first one brought me back to PlayStation when I took the huff of the PS4 Pro. When I plugged that thing in and went, this is a pile of shit. This is not worth the money I've just paid for it. And I got rid of it. I didn't have a PlayStation for 6 months? I don't think anything came out really in those 6 months. But then God of War came out a couple of years ago in March or April, and I was like, yeah, I pre-ordered it. I got the God of War edition. And it was fine. But then I got stuck in that lift for years, and I never went back to it. So I managed to get through it, and pretty much it's not a difficult game by any means. After that part, for some reason, that's the only part in the game that fucking got me. All these places that said God of War 1 was like 89, 90%. For me, it wasn't. It was at most 80, at best 80 for me. And all these places saying that this new one, oh, it's 10 out of 10, it's the best game ever. I can't see it being. I can see it being more of the same. And if you like the other one, you're going to love this. But see, for me, I'm like, I can't play this right now. I don't want 5 hours more of snow, Andy. I don't want it. I want him to go in the sand. Not Greece again, but like go to fucking like Ireland, like do an Assassin's Creed. I don't want to be in the snow. Go to America or something, fight the American gods. Like I don't want to do this. Like, so it's not the right time for me for Ragnarok, but I've played enough to place it in the list this year. And I've played enough to say that I don't think this is a 10 out of 10 game. I think it's a very good, well-made game. I don't think it's the best game I've ever played. Like, I wouldn't throw it in there with like Final Fantasy. Just because it just kind of rolls seamlessly off the cuff of God of War 2018. It's like, oh, cool, it's more of the same. And some of the more fair reviews that gave it between 80 and 85% said if you like the first one, you're going to love this. But then you get the reviews, it's like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. It's not. This is not as good as like a complicated Zelda or even like a really good Resident Evil game or Final Fantasy. Like honestly, this is not as good as the likes of Final Fantasy VII, even the remake, which I'm not as keen on. The actual one, it's a good game. I can't. I don't understand the 10 out of 10s, man. Like I just don't get that. I would accept 9 out of 10 for someone that really loved it. But for me, this is another 8 out of 10, and that's fine. That means it's a really good game. But see, when you say perfect game, I'm like, oh, baby. And then I fired it up, and I'm like, looks the same as that one.
Yeah.
It looks the same. That's the problem. It didn't have anything. Okay, it's haptics, right? But the haptics aren't as strong enough as like the likes of Returnal or things like that. So I haven't felt that blown away by it. Like my cousin just got his PlayStation in. He was like, "Oh my god, look at that!" And he's like, "Oh, well, why did it almost lock up my controller?" I goes, "It didn't. You just have to push through with the haptics, and because he's not used them.
Yeah,
before,
the adaptive triggers. Tell him to play Astro. Tell him to play Astro, and then after you play Astro, be like,
Astro. He should be playing God of War 2018, like I told him.
Well, yeah, you should be doing that too. But yeah, like for me, my God of War Ragnarok experience started the exact same way as yours, where I played it up to almost that exact same point, like the fight with Thor, go back home, and then after that, I was like, yeah, it's more of the same.
It's the same game. It felt like DLC.
It felt like DLC or like the tail end of the last game, and I'm like, okay, right, well, I'm not really interested in this story right now. I'm gonna go play Plague Tale, and I played through the whole of Plague Tale, finished that, and it was fucking great. Loved it. And then once I finished Plague Tale, I was like, okay, back to God of War. So now God of War, I'm like 20 hours into it now, so I think I'm about two-thirds of the way through. So I'm getting towards the sort of end game of it, and it's definitely gotten better. But I think one of the things that it kind of misses is because the way they built it up in the first game, where they added all your abilities and that sort of stuff, you had nothing to begin with, just an axe, and you could chuck it, and that was it. And you had to learn how that all worked. Now, in this game, you've got all that at the beginning. So you've got the axe, you've got the chains, like you've got all the powers you had from the first game.
I'll say from the first fight of this game, you've got
from the first fight. Yes, which is cool, and it takes a wee minute to remember how to do all the fucking moves.
Not for me. I just finished the last.
Yeah, not for you, but like for me, that's not played it for 4 years.
I should caveat that I wasn't even halfway a God of War. I wouldn't say, and I think I think I beasted the last God of War in a week. Like completely just churned it, got to the end of it, finished it, ignored side quests, cheesed my way through certain boss fights, and I enjoyed it. But I didn't want to jump immediately into fucking exactly the same.
No, but I totally agree with what you said about how it looks. It looks exactly the same as the last God of War. Maybe it is slightly better looking.
It's not.
Maybe
it honestly is not.
But that's 100% held back by yes. It's not a bad looking game. It looks good, but it doesn't look as good as
it
could be. Yeah, I think it could look way better. But yeah, so like I'm like 20 hours in. The story's gotten better. I'm more invested in it now, and like the gameplay is kind of what puts me off though, because it is some of the combat is quite hard. I would say it's complicated.
I got stuck at a bit actually when I died.
Yeah.
Where I'm on the mountainside, and there's all these like raider camps after you've fought Thor. You know the bit of meaning. You're with someone. I don't know what it is you're looking for. Are you looking for Atreus? No, you found him.
Yeah, I can't remember who you're looking for at the beginning.
But you're looking for someone. You're with Atreus, and I'm sure there's somebody with you. I could be wrong, but you're going through raider camps.
It's Mimir that's with you, like the head.
I thought it was a guide. It could just be the head. But you know the bit I mean where you're going down, you can overlook like the thieves and stuff. I'm fighting my way through those guys, and I kind of get ambushed at one point. I'm like, why the fuck's this wee kid still doing my head in? Like, you're not killing it. You're not doing anything to help here. Like,
what I will say about this game is it's got these kind of semi-open world like environment bits where you can go to like different areas of the map and do side quests and shit like that. There's loads of side quests and stuff like that in it.
Was this in God of War 2018 when the lake unlocked?
Yeah, there's a lot more in this, way more. Like every area's got like a bit like that where it's like a bigger lake basically, yeah. And that bit is back in it as well. But the lake's frozen this time, so like you can
you get ice skates.
You go on it's a husky sled or wolf sled. I can't remember if it's wolves or huskies. But yeah, you can go to like different bits of that, and you can go and do wee side missions and quests and things for people. I haven't engaged with any of that. I don't care. Like I'm interested to a point in the story, and like I like some of the gameplay elements. Like I love the puzzle solving. Puzzle solving's fucking cool. The combat is hard though. I'm finding it hard. And I definitely die now and again. I like how I can have these resurrection stones. So like if I do fuck up and like die very quickly, then I'll just reload the checkpoint. But if I've got kind of
Because
near the tail end,
the checkpoints can be quite far apart, because that part I was talking about, I fought through 3 bandit camps and I died, and it put me back to the start of the first one overlooking the mountain. I'm like, that's a joke.
So I've actually found the checkpointing really good in this game, because it will checkpoint you halfway through boss fights and stuff like that, which is great. Because I've found I've died in a couple of boss fights and like in a couple of different fights and stuff like that. If I die near the beginning of it, then I'll like, because you get this resurrection stone that if you die, you get a chance to come back. They had it in the first game as well. As long as you've got a companion with you, they can sort
I've
of
never seen that.
activate it with you. I think they did have it in the first game. Can't remember.
No, they maybe did that. See, the thing is, I'm like you. I like God of War when it was a hack and slash game. You didn't have fucking side quests and shit. Seeing this when it's like, oh, shouldn't we go over there and see that? No, fucking just stay in the boat. No, we're going to fight this guy. We need to go through that dungeon. We need to go back through that twisty thing. We need to go through the definitely not a loading screen where you have to run around the same bit every time to get the door. Yeah, I'm just not interested in the side quests in this at all. No. Like, I think they could get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm not going to engage with them at all. Like, I'm sure they're fine, but like, I'm interested in playing through the story, and that's about it. But yeah, like the resurrection stone, I won't use that if like I die really quick at the beginning of a fight, because I'm like, right, well, I'm either too under leveled to fight this, and I should come back to it later, or I've just been really stupid and like gone about this fight in the wrong way, and I'll, instead of using my blades, I'll use my axe or another weapon. Because you do get another weapon in this game as well. And there might be another one. Because so far there's been because they assign them to the D-pad.
You had
so far
there's other weapons in the old God of Wars.
Well,
a
few. I imagine this weapon was in the old God of Wars, but I don't remember it.
What is it?
A spear.
Yeah, the Leonidas spear. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a Leonidas spear; it's like a new spear that's been made, but it kind of looks like that.
Yeah. He had a spear before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because it's a Spartan thing. Like Spartans had spears, so it makes sense.
And had other weapons. I'm sure Ascension had more weapons than the rest of them.
Yeah, I can't remember. Like I remember playing Ascension. Like I finished Ascension, but I can't remember what weapons he had in it. I just remember the blades. But I like using the blades, and see, because you spend so much time in the fucking in the snow, the blades are great because they cause fire damage to people, and it cuts through their snow shit. Like. So I've used the blades way more than I did in the first game, I think. But like I say, I did love the puzzle mechanics, and there's a lot more of the puzzle mechanics in this than there was in the last game so far, I would say. So
the last game kind of threw them in at the end as a side note, and it was mostly like those things, the chopper things that you had to like stop, at the right time. And that was as far as it went with puzzles, really, that game.
So like these ones, you're using your axe and blade powers to like freeze and unfreeze things, and
they did that as well with like elevators and stuff. You had to like
lots of elevators and like lots of moving water around in different ways and things like that. So like I've really enjoyed the puzzle mechanics of the game. Like they're really great, and the physics of it works brilliantly. So like that a lot. But yeah, the story. Yeah, some of it's good, some of it's like I don't care. All the side content, I do not care. See, when someone's like telling me something, it's like side mission started. I'm like, cool, skip all this shitty dialogue. I do not care. Because I watched the first one and I'm like, this is tedious. Listen to this shit. Like, no interest in it whatsoever. Like, are you going to tell me anything interesting to do with the story? No,
nope. They never do.
Like, you need to go here and get this thing to fix this piece of armor or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't. I ain't fucking doing that. What I do like about it is the way that the characters talk amongst themselves. So like, see,
when did that in the first game.
But they've taken it further in this game, because you've got these side quests, right? So like, you'll get to like a point and it's like, oh, you can go and do what you want now. Like, oh, remember we've got this thing we could go and do, like the side quest, or we can go back to the house and then like basically progress on the main story. And if you start to head towards like the sort of main house, then it's like, oh, I see we're not going to bother doing like that side quest. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. And we're not going to bother doing it. You're fucking right.
But they did that in the first game as well. 100%. I've heard the trailers.
But side quests, I mean, maybe I just don't remember.
because there was a point where it was like, remember, the head said, remember that such and such is in that island, and then like if you go past it, he was like, not now, and the Atreus will comment on it as you pull up to the gate. So yeah, 100% that happened.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
That's what I mean.
Same game.
This game is
I'm just
fucking. It's the
the
exact
bits that
same.
I'm really liking are just things that I've forgotten from the first game.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. Like, I only just finished this game, and I spent a week putting another like maybe 10 hours into it at least. But the last thing you want is to force yourself to just get through a game and then be hit with the exact same game when it's like,
Yeah, totally.
if I had 2-3 years between it, like most folk, then maybe I'd be in the right mood for it. But it's very different from like if they announce Miles Morales 2 right tomorrow. I always want more Spider-Man.
Yep.
I don't think I always need more exact same God of War.
No.
Like,
Just around 5 hours of snow at the beginning, and then sporadic ventures back to snow throughout the game so far.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, anytime a Spider-Man game is, I'm buying a Spider-Man game and I'll play it. Even Miles Morales, which was like DLC practically for the main game. Like, I'm
Still
always going to.
great game. Still really fun.
And yeah, they reuse some of the same places. Mechanics are very similar. They just throw in an electric attack and make you feel lighter. But in fact, like, it was a lot more changed. But like God of War, I'm just when it started and you've just told me there's like another 4.5 odd hours. Well, maybe 3. I've maybe put 2.5 hours in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have fucking time for any more snow or any more lakes or boats. I wanted something completely different, man. I just was like, when a game's on this scope and
the lakes and boats do not go away either. Like, they're present throughout.
But that's what I mean, right? So there's ways of making it feel different. Look at The Last of Us and Last of Us 2, right? I'm not a fan of The Last of Us 2, but like that game felt different, and it was still in a city, and it started at the end of the first game, and it had the same characters. But the story's a lot more gripping. But it's not just that. I didn't like it, so it's hard for me to comment. But the game didn't feel the same. Like, you're a horse for one, and like the areas all felt different. And it's like, but it's in the same area. You're just going a different way.
Yeah.
So there is ways of making it feel different.
Yeah.
Whereas this just went exact same area as the first game.
The voice acting in this game is excellent. The cast is great, and boy, he doesn't really say boy in this game. Really, he might have said it once at the beginning.
He should have said teenager, like I do.
I mean, he says Atreus in like a very, very gruff voice. He's got such a good voice, like, he's fucking brilliant. I like Kratos' character in this game, and like most of the other cast, apart from Atreus, don't like Atreus. Don't like him.
No, I don't like him in the first game either.
And you do have to play as Atreus in this game, which I have not enjoyed.
Yeah, I can't see me going back to
having to play as him. Didn't like playing as him.
I think we did that spoiler-free-ish. Like, but I have no need for this game this year. This is a game that I'll go back to.
Yeah, I mean, it's good so far, but like, it's not going to be game of the year. I probably is an 8 out of 10. Like, I think so far, and like I said, I'm 2/3 of the way through. I can't imagine my opinion going massively up unless there's like an amazing story comes together towards the end.
He goes to the jungle.
Goes to the jungle, yeah, or maybe he goes back to Sparta's shit. I don't know.
That'd be quite cool.
That'd be cool.
Like 5 years later, Atreus has died. Side of the boat, and he's like got a walking stick.
There's been too many dream sequences in it as well. I'm not a big fan of dream sequences.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those already. He keeps thinking about his wife, like going hunting with her, and
like playable dream sequences that last like more than 2 minutes. No, fuck off. I don't want that.
If you want me to walk down a corridor and like in the Gotham games or Arkham Knight games where it's Bruce Wayne having flashbacks,
one dream segment in a game, totally fine with that. No problem. 2 or more, fuck off. No, thank you. But yeah, it's good so far. I would imagine I'll have finished it by next week.
Nice. So
it's that I need to finish 2 more games. So it'll be God of War and then one other game.
So I want to talk about Pokemon Violet I got.
Okay, I didn't buy Pokemon. I heard it was bad. Well, not bad, but I heard it was glitchy.
I'm very, very forgiving with games, and like I was quite into this. I changed my mind backwards and forwards over the year. And then I thought, do you know what? I really like Legends Arceus. This is going to be good. Oh,
No.
I mean, like, you know when you get glitches and it's like, I can look past it. This is broken, like, and you know what I'm like, Andy? Normally, everybody else in the world would find a problem with a game. I'm like, nope, didn't find it. And most of the time, I didn't. See this, like, turn the camera, can see through the map, and I'm like, what? Why is this doing this? And then, like, you know, those glitches you always see people doing, like in Assassin's Creed, where it's like the face is gone, it's just the eyes and the teeth.
Just the eyes, yeah.
You can do that in this game, like, without even trying. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's like Boundary Break's best game ever because he doesn't need to do any work for it. Like, so bad, man. Like, really unfinished. Needed at least another year. And I'm like, I'm not playing this. This is the first time I'm like, I was ready to play it. And I played this 2-3 years. I'm like, I even started writing guides on it, and I'm like, I can't play anymore. I can't bring myself to play this. Like, and I did buy it digital, yes, and student of yes, but I'm like, they need to fix some of this for me, for it to be a playable form. I'm like, this feels like I've got a beta copy. Like, and I don't mean like a beta these days. I mean like back in the day where it's like, yeah, this game's not finished yet. Like, it's awful.
They've done at least one patch so far.
One
like
patch,
beyond day one.
some bugs.
Yeah.
That's it. But performance issues are fucking horrible. It's like 11 frames a second, fucking turn the camera and it's all like ghost and slow down. And I'm like, this feels like playing a PlayStation 2 game, like a really bad one.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And it shouldn't at this point because Pokemon Arceus didn't. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl last year. Pokemon are usually a lot more polished, but I think these games have got a lot more ambitious than they used to be. And they weren't ready for it, I don't think. And I think they just assumed they could do it in the same time scale as the old Pokemon formula, you know? And they've messed it up. They need to fix it. And I can't get into it. I can't enjoy it. So I'm not playing it. I'm just refusing to. Pokemon design seemed really cool, I'll say that, which is a first for years because normally the Pokemon I've always said to you, and you agree, they look ridiculous after the first 100.
The new ones, yeah, it's totally silly.
But
Bin bags and keys and fucking ice creams and shit, yeah.
And this one, at least when it brings back the old ones, does something cool. So, like, it's got the Tauros, you know, the bull that's normally brown, but it's got, like, the black version that's got flames. So it's kind of a variant, and I like when they do that. Like, I haven't seen a weird, like, stupid Pokemon yet. And I haven't seen, like, sometimes, like, I'm sure Sword and Shield just felt like it was seagulls and clams and normal animals.
Yeah.
This has got a proper Pokemon feel to it again.
Okay.
And that's the worst thing about it. It's like, but when I'm driving, like if I feel like, oh, if I just drove through the map, oh no, I just touched the camera as I was moving at 12 frames a second. And see people saying, oh, it's the Switch, it's underpowered. See all the articles popping up just now, they're pissing me off saying, we need a Switch Pro now. Have you seen Xenoblade 3? Have you seen Splatoon 3? Have you seen Bayonetta that just came out just before Pokemon? It's not the Switch. This is the developer.
Because they haven't tried to do that much with it. Like, the worlds look fucking empty as hell. Like, you compare it to Xenoblade, and it's like, or like Zelda even, Breath of the Wild. Like, just a launch game.
Which is a launch title, looks better than this.
Yeah.
Honestly, and there's more to do in the world. Like, see, the thing is, Pokemon Arceus, their sort of test trial of open world was better than this. Far better. And they've even removed features. Like, you can't just throw Pokeballs in the wild. You have to go into a battle to fight to catch them now. And I'm like, that was one of the cool things. One cool thing I like that you can do in this game, right? You can get a Pokemon and you can throw it, right? But it won't come out the ball. It won't go into battle automatically if you push this button. It will walk about and it can find stuff. And like if you give it the command, it will start attacking Pokemon on its own and leveling up. So that's pretty cool. So like you can do it and have it following along with you, which you couldn't do in Arceus. But I mean, like, I miss the fact of why can't I just sneak up in Pokemon and throw a Pokeball? Like, that was a cool thing. Especially for, like, low-level ones where you're going to knock them out and it's fucking annoying trying to catch one because, like, I need one of those, but I can't catch it because they're only, like, level 5. So, but yeah, it's a shame. It looked like it could have been really cool. But it's not. It's broken. It's completely shit. It's not even on my Game of the Year list.
Once they fix it, it might be all right.
Yeah, but for a Nintendo franchise... Like, this shouldn't have been allowed to slip. Like, see if Reggie was still there, he would have put his foot down and said, you can't fucking put out a Pokemon game that looks like this.
Yeah.
And I know Game Freak are kind of their own entity, but it's not a good look for Nintendo. Mario, Zelda wouldn't come out like... Fucking Metroid wouldn't even come out looking like this.
No. Reggie
walked in Metroid and goes, what the fuck have you done for the last 3 years? Start again. Remember, so there's
Yeah.
no way that I don't know what's happened here. I don't know what's happened. I don't know how it's been allowed to come out because it's like, yeah, it sold 10 million copies in the first 3 days. But that's in the brand name, right?
Yep.
But there's people playing this going, I'm not buying another one. Like there will be people put off because of this.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, they should have just said, sorry, Pokemon's delayed. Like, fire out another Let's Go. Like, they're in the can. Like, just do another Let's Go polish up. You do them really well.
When was the last like full-on Pokemon mainline game? So like
three years. It's every 3 years they do them.
Right. So not a remake. What was the last one then? The
Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield, right? Okay, yeah.
3 years ago.
Like, and I bought both those games and I didn't like them very much. They were okay.
They play better than this. Like, that's not what we shouldn't be talking about how Pokemon plays. Pokemon should come as a given. Yeah, it plays. It's Pokemon. We shouldn't be having a discussion where like I turn like that and this walls just went through my head. You know,
yeah, I've never ever heard anyone mention that in a Pokemon game ever before.
No, man, it's bad, like really bad. And you know, I forgive a lot of games where I'm semi-interested in. I can't. It's not even a case of forgiving. It's like I can't play this. Like I can't. It's just not good to play. It's like, and the game's froze quite a few times on me as well. Just completely froze up. I've had to like turn my Switch completely off.
Why? It's fucking ridiculous.
It's horrible. Yeah. It's like, here's what we could have made if like give us another year and it'll be good. If I'd played this as a demo at a trade show or something, yeah, absolutely fine. As a finished fucking Nintendo first party title, get it in the bin. Somebody should have been fired for that. I'm not even just saying that. Somebody should have been fired. That's disgusting. And like, what they should have done if they needed extra time is took it. It's Pokemon, for fuck's sake. It's not as if you're releasing gun grenades.
It's gonna sell whenever it comes out. It doesn't matter when you put it out.
I know, but they should have put more into it. They should have put more time and passion.
Yeah, totally. That's what I'm saying. Like,
also, maybe they shouldn't have brought out a full game at the start of the year as well. Maybe
even if they delayed this though to like January, February next year,
still going to sell.
It would sell the fucking exact same.
Exact same. It's not going to not sell. Like, they could have pushed it back by 6 months easily and polished stuff. Had a better reception. Probably got a 9 out of 10 from most places.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, so I don't have too much more to say about that. However, because we'll need to finish up because I'm absolutely knackered today. Unless you've got any more that you want to talk about, I want to talk about my drunk purchase.
No, not really. Not really. Go ahead.
So, Drunk Ali hasn't bought things in quite a few years, really.
Drunk Ali should not be allowed access to his credit card.
It's because it's already pre-saved, but it's like Drunk Ali got you Grand Theft Auto 5.
It's true.
So like, Drunk Ali was like, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I did 2 good things. I ordered myself like a breakfast pack from Uber Eats to get delivered. Genius. That was genius. And then this was when Lexi was still up and we were having pizza and stuff, and it was my first bottle of wine. But then Tasha had a staff night out, so I moved on to my second bottle of wine. Didn't finish it, but I started it. And the minute you start a second bottle of wine, it's all downhill from there. Like red wine, obviously. Like not
pretty much no matter what circumstance you're in,
yeah,
it's going to end badly.
Yeah, red wine kills most people easily. So I didn't get killed. I wasn't that bad in the morning. I wasn't as bad as my wife, but like I honestly bought something that I said I have no need for. So I went on, and Drunk Ali still had some sense. He bought it from CD Keys, so we only paid like 56 for it, which wasn't bad. But he bought The Last of Us Part 1. And then he woke up and I'm like, I can't even refund this, man. Drunk Ali redeemed it and downloaded it, and like, I'll play this tomorrow. But then obviously I haven't played because this happened, and or was that before it? I don't know. I bought it. I think I bought it after. But yeah, so I put it on yesterday because I thought I can't play anything unless I'm just basically walking forward. And the stealth, most of the action in this game is stealth, so it's just more walking. But then there are some parts I forgot about where it's like they run at you and it's a scripted part,
to shoot,
and you have to like kind of dodge and shoot. And I'm like, those parts I can't. I don't regret it. This is a fucking good remake, man. This is superb. I actually stuck on the PS4 remaster just to open it. It's leaps and bounds, like graphics wise. It looks better than Last of Us 2, hands down.
Yeah, definitely.
It's probably one of the best PlayStation games. It's up there with Demon's Souls for one of the best PlayStation games I've ever liked.
Well, I mean, this one's PS5 exclusive, so
Oh yeah. This is the PlayStation 5 remake. This isn't the remaster.
Yeah.
This is the whole redo of it. I forgot how good this fucking game was, man. Like
Good
honestly,
game.
I knew I was standing my ground with The Last of Us 2, but I'm fucking more right than I ever was with that game. Like Last of Us 2 is bollocks compared to this. Like I'm at the part where I've met up with Bill and where is it we're going? We're going across all the houses and there's loads of clickers and we're trying to get the car battery. That's what I'm at. I've just got the car battery, so we're pushing the car down the hill.
Right.
And I couldn't react quick enough because as you're pushing it, a clicker runs out. And I was like, shit. And I'm trying to shotgun him and I couldn't get him. Honestly, this game's fucking one of the best games ever. Along the years, like, because I was like, when did this come out? 9 years ago, Andy, this came out. Nearly 10. In March, it'll be 10 years since this game came out. So it's practically a decade old. And like, yeah, okay, this looks a lot better, but the game looked fucking immense, like on the PS3. The graphics was, I still think the graphics in the PS3 version would stand up today if you put them on, 100%. But this game, oh man, like, see those nominations you've got for best water. This is the one. This is the one. Like, I watched the comparison with Digital Foundry before, like, I played it as well, and like, it shows you like. And I never went to water in Last of Us like remastered when I put it on because obviously at the start you're in the city and things are blown up and stuff. But the water in Last of Us 1 looks like walking through jelly compared to this. This looks like water. It doesn't look like it could be water. This looks like water and acts how water should act. Like the fire effects in this. Like I know the last time I was blown away was it Resi 3, I think it was, with the ray tracing on. Oh, that's lovely. Seeing this, honestly, amazing looking fire graphics. Like the whole thing's just a beautiful game, and it always was a nice looking game, obviously. But they've redone the character models. I don't know if it's just me now picturing Pedro Pascal, but like the guy in the game now looks more like Pedro Pascal for some reason. The girl does not. She still looks like, well, no, she doesn't. She looks like the actor formerly known as
Ellen Page.
Yes, the actor formerly known as Ellen Page. When he
Elliot Page, I think he's changed his name to.
When that actor was Ellen,
they
look like Ellie. Ellie still looks the same, but Marlene looks not Marlene. Is it Tess? Is your friend that gets shot?
Okay, Tess. Yeah,
she looks different. This man, I'm pretty sure they've done other things. Like the thing is, I think the thing about Joel, what they've done is they've actually made him look older, whereas in the original games he kind of just looked like Nathan Drake with a beard. Now they've kind of tried to differentiate him. Like they've not just reused the character model and stuck a beard on. That'll do it. Whereas now they've kind of given him more defined wrinkles and his face is more weathered. He's got a few scars you can see.
Maybe they were there before technically, but you just couldn't see them because of the high defness. Yeah.
No, this is a whole new character model. Like it doesn't even like the bone structure and everything looks different. So yeah, this isn't. It's weird. This is a weird one, right? This is a remake, right? But it's not a remake like Final Fantasy VII, the way they remade it, because Final Fantasy VII remake was just a whole new game.
It's a whole new game, yeah.
This is a remake because all the assets and everything, the shooting's all different. There's haptics in it. The menu prompts, all those things are different, but it is the same game you're playing. It's weird. It's a strange one.
It probably is a true remake, whereas like Final Fantasy VII remake is not actually a remake; it's a new game.
Yeah, I would say Final Fantasy VII is more of a new game.
Yeah,
you know when you see like based on the books written by like that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's an adaptation almost. Yeah,
of Final Fantasy VII. Whereas this is a true remake in the truest of forms. Like with Last of Us coming out at the end of PS3, they wanted to get it in PS4, so we had the remastered version, which was the exact same thing basically. But this 10 years on, this is a whole redo. This is using the new engine, new everything. So this is a true remake, whereas like Final Fantasy VII remakes more like I don't know how the best way to describe it. When you get a new version of a movie that was out years ago, probably, and the new movies like change things. I can't think of an example off the top of my head for some reason. Just
Star Wars, maybe.
No, because Star Wars is one story.
No, when they change stuff, like different cuts of Star Wars.
No, that's a director's cut. It's more like. What's an old movie that they've redone?
Oh, like a remake of. I mean, they remade Blade Runner. I never saw the remake one though.
It's not a
Colin
remake.
Farrell.
Remake's a sequel. It's not a remake. It's a direct continuation from Blade Runner 1. It's fantastic. It's on Netflix. Get it watched. Blade Runner 2049, it's called. It's Ryan Gosling.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not thinking of Blade Runner. I'm thinking of what was the other one? What was the one with Colin Farrell in
Dune.
it? No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, that's a good example. So Total Recall.
Total Recall. That's it. Yeah. That's what I'm
So
thinking
Final
of.
Fantasy VII remake's more like Total Recall, where it's like kind of got some of the original stuff in it and the same characters, but it's its own thing.
Yep.
The story's told slightly different and events happen different. Whereas this one's more, it is a remake. It's a full remake of the original game, and oh man, it does feel. It's even I ran about the remaster for a while. That game feels clunky as fuck. Like it's not Uncharted 1 clunky, but it's definitely Uncharted 2, 3 clunkiness.
Yeah.
Which like is not right. Whereas now this is smoother than like it's probably about the same as Last of Us 2. I would say smoother than Uncharted 4. Oh man, I just forgot what this game was like. See the parts where it's just like the spores for the first time, you're in the sewer with the water, the jump scares aren't overused in it. Like not every alleyway is going to have something running at you, and it's got the perfect balance of everything, man. Like the story's got me gripped, the characters have got me, like everything that The Last of Us 2 just doesn't fucking have. Like, and it's nothing to do with, there's a lot of people that like Last of Us 2 for shitty reasons because of like lesbian romances. Like that's the way a lot of people, that's because they're backwards fucking thinking. That's not why I don't like it. I just didn't like it because I didn't feel, and this will bring us on to the title of this video, I didn't feel Joel got the ending he deserved. I think it was just kind of frivolously thrown away. And I understand why he died because of Abby and her dad being one of the scientists and stuff. But it's like, that's not satisfying. And the trailers misled us to fuck. Like, because it showed you a lot of Joel, like, being in the game. And Joel dies and, like, I can't hear you, Andy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the trailers were smart because they deliberately misled you. They
That's not
100%
smart.
lied. Yeah.
But that pissed me off because it was like, I remember Joel coming out the shadows and putting his hand on her shoulder going, I'm here with you, kid. It doesn't fucking happen. I'm not ever finished The Last of Us 2, but
That
like
that does happen in the game, but it's like it's an imagination thing. So like she's imagining that.
yeah, but it doesn't make a difference because you don't get to play as him anyway. You're fucking early, which is fine.
I mean, you
But
do play as him at the beginning for one
you're
bit.
on a horse for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was completely fine with that. I loved Last of Us 2. Thought it was fantastic.
Right,
Far
you
better.
did. No,
I'm in the minority, very much minority there though.
no, but you're really, really incorrect. Like, there's nothing. But what I'm meaning is, I'm trying. I don't know why I'm pussyfooting about it, but it's because there's so many dicks on the internet that are saying, "Oh, that you shouldn't have lesbians on screen." You know that shit. That's why I don't like this move. They're calling it a woke game and everything. No, it's not. It's been a realistic fucking game. Do you know what I mean? Like of relationships that happen in the world. I don't give a fuck about the relationships, boy, girl. It could be a fucking dog, and I wouldn't really care that much. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if I'd be
maybe
if
not.
it's a
But
dog.
but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't. What I'm meaning is, I don't care about the relationship status or.
But like
sexual-
relationships between humans, yeah, do the fuck you want. Who cares?
Yeah, stay away from the dogs.
And
But
aliens, fucking
yeah,
go in.
aliens, like anything. You know what I mean? I don't care about that side of the game. Like, I don't even care about straight relationships in the game. So it's more like I wanted the story between Ellie and Joel to continue, and it doesn't. It just gives you the after effects of Joel on Ellie, and it's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see, and a lot of people I think were in my side, but it's like, but this is okay for the start of the game, but we're going to get Joel and Ellie together again soon, and then it doesn't happen. He just gets hit in the head with a golf club. So unsatisfying. And here's my problem: like a lot of people said, in fact, you and Fred Rojas specifically, that at the start of The Last of Us, I didn't get the emotion behind it because at the time I didn't have any kids and I didn't have a daughter. Both you guys had a daughter at the time, so that's why you said it hit you so much. I watched it again and I'm like, that part's not an emotionally tying part of the game. It really isn't because you haven't had enough time to bond. Anytime something happens with Ellie in the game, that's when the father instincts for me kicks in and go, oh no, she's coming back with me, pal. You can get the fuck. But I think that's more a pacing issue at the start of the game. We didn't spend enough time with his actual daughter. We didn't get to see the mum. You know, it just kind of throws you in. So I still stand by my original statement I said all those years ago in 2013 before I had a wee girl that I didn't bother. Fred said he was crying. I still don't like. Yeah, it's a
I
shame.
definitely wasn't crying, but like it did hit you a bit in the feels because you didn't expect it to come like so quickly. Where you're like, oh my god, like
I didn't care though, even back
can't
then, and I
believe
still.
you've done that.
Yeah, it just happened so fast that I hadn't grown any emotional bond, right, or anything. Um, but a lot of people's problem is that they said Joe wasn't a hero. Joe was a hero. Joe was the hero of the game, and here's why. Like he took Ellie on as the fatherly figure, right? And you can say what you fucking want, right? Because they were going to harvest Ellie. They were going to kill her. They were going to take her brain out.
Yep.
He's now attached to this young girl like it's his daughter that he lost. Are you telling me you're going to let scientists rip her brain out? You're not going to see reason at that point. You would as well. You'd be like, you're not going fucking anywhere. Bang, bang, bang. I'm out here. I'm going to lie to you. You'd do the exact same thing because you're a dad of a girl.
100%. That's not why I didn't like Joel.
Why didn't you like Joe? Because the photograph thing. Stop
Because of the
with that
photograph.
nonsense.
Because of the photograph.
Right. And I'll stand on my justification again, right? Joe, Last of Us, like flashes forward 20 years after the first scene, right? Seeing the world that they're now living in, it's a harsh reality. You could die at any point. The military could decide you've messed up and shoot you in the face. Like there's people getting their hands cut off in the markets and shit like that. Like it's a fucking wild, wild west. Do you know what I mean? So like, you have to develop some sort of toughness and not. He can't go back to that emotional state. He has nightmares over the moment every night. Like seeing The Last of Us 1, he can't sleep properly. Like Ellie comments on it. And he's like, yeah, no, I can't sleep. Because every night, every time he closes his eyes, he sees his daughter getting shot again.
Yep.
So that's why he didn't want the fucking photo, because he was trying to like stop thinking about it, because he was going to end up driving himself to suicide or like proper mental disorder because all he could see was his daughter getting shot. So I understood
I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying, but the second game, he has the fucking photo in a frame in his house.
So he must have second thought it and went and got it again. That's all I can think of, because the word adventures of Joel and what's his pal Frank? It's not Frank.
It was Tommy. It was his brother.
Tommy,
was his brother? I think it was his brother.
Tommy was his brother, but like somebody must have got it, or he must have got it, and he must have moved on. But he had to harden himself to just stay alive at that point in his life because he'd lost everything.
Yeah, so I mean,
it would be difficult having a photo of your daughter that gets shot to pieces in your arms. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not heartless when that happened. What I'm saying is, now that I've played this with a fresh mind, like yesterday, it's like I'm seeing it from a totally different limelight now. And it's like, he's not a bad guy. He was just doing what any dad would do. He did what it took to keep his quote unquote daughter alive at the end of the game. So shooting 10 guys in lab coats that are going to take the brain out of your child, yeah, bye, you're going.
Yeah, 100%. And I never said he wasn't the hero. I just didn't like his character in the first game. I like his character in the second game. He's much, much better and much more likable, I find, in the second game.
He dies in 5 minutes. He dies in the first fucking half hour.
No, he's in a good bit of cutscenes and stuff like that for the first couple of hours. He gets redeemed in my eyes.
You're talking shit. You're talking shit that you didn't like him at all in the first game, because that one photo bit doesn't happen till like way down the line. So up to that
like
point,
halfway through, I was like, I hate him.
So no, you're talking.
The rest of the game, I didn't like playing as him.
He was, absolutely, you're not, no. But you understand his reason for not wanting that photo, like the pain that was going through him. Right?
I don't agree with it, but I get it.
So you're wrong in your opinion for not liking him, because you're not down in the emotional level the story requires you to be. But yeah, I mean, I might give Last of Us 2 another shake after this, right? Because I feel I'm going through it at a decent pace. Mostly because I've got no choice but to stealth with this. Because like I'm already at Bill, and I remember playing this the first time going, I remember being a lot longer in the sewers. You know that bit where Ellie can't swim and you have to like swim under stuff? I remember being there for a lot longer. Now I'm like, okay, I'm already at Bill's house, which to me was halfway, but I don't know if it is halfway. I think the giraffes are halfway. And
yeah, giraffes are maybe slightly more than halfway. Giraffes.
Yeah, I can't think, but just now, because I can't remember where I go after I get in the car. I can't remember, but I know I have to clear the road, and it takes a while, and then I have to get in the car, and the car starts. But I can't remember if Bill dies or Bill comes. This is the thing. Like, this is when I went out. When was this game even out? And it was like 10 years ago. So like playing through it again with a fresh lens on PS5 graphics with haptics. Honestly, man.
Have you done the bit with the two brothers yet?
the kind of gang leaders and one's like a pedo.
No. There's like a older guy and a younger brother, and you meet them. Yeah, the younger brother's maybe the Ellie's age, and you meet them on the beach.
No, can't remember that, but I've
No.
just met Bill. Bill's the guy that's got like a
Yeah,
whole
it must
town
be
booby
after that then.
trapped.
Yeah, because you go to that bit and you kind of shack up with them for a few days, and some shit happens there, and like that was where the game got me emotionally. Really, like obviously the beginning bit is, but then when it gets to that bit, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's 10 years ago, and see the fact that I can't remember parts of it. It's like experiencing it all over again with these new graphics, man. Like, see if you, I don't think you'll get it cheap anytime soon, but see if you see it if you see it cheap at work or whatever, like pick it up. Like honestly, just to give it another whirl because it is one of the best. And the other thing is, even though at first I was like, why did I buy that? I'm now like, why wouldn't I buy it? Because it's one of the best games I've ever played in a remade form on a fucking. It was two console generations.
You bought the remaster day one. Well, you bought the remaster
The
day
PlayStation 4 remake.
Yeah.
I didn't even put it in, but that was a year after I'd played the original.
Hmm.
Because it came out the original came out in 2013 and the remaster came out in 2014, like 6 months
You
into
should
PlayStation.
play the DLC, by the way, like because you've
Yeah,
not
because I
played
never
that
played
before.
that. No,
DLC is really good. Really like
it's
it.
included, I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah,
I think
it is definitely.
it says in the menu to finish the main story. So yeah, I'll play the DLC for it. But honestly, like, see if you see this game cheap, like I'd say 50 or below, fucking pick it up, man. Even to just experience what it looks like now. And I guarantee you get hooked back in.
I will play it, but I'll maybe play it when the TV show comes out.
What's that? January next month.
Yeah, maybe play it then. We'll see.
You should. Honestly, I think you'll love it. And like, part of me was like, we were going on for ages. We don't need a remake of it. And to be honest, an Uncharted 1 remake would have been more needed than this. But I'm glad that I've played this now. Like I really am. I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it all over again. There's parts of it that I'm like, I don't remember this. Oh yeah, this happens, isn't it? It's not that I've spoiled anything for me. It's like going back to somewhere you went on holiday and having the same like slush puppy, and they've got the same arcade machine sitting there that you remember from 2 years ago, and it's like, you know what? This is exactly what I wanted. Even though I said I was going to be bored when I got here, this is what I wanted. That was me every summer. But like, that's exactly what's happened with this, and I'm like, because it's PS5 graphics, because it's haptics, because the menus have all got a revamp, and I have never seen so many accessibility options, man. Not even in Last of Us 2. They went over the top. Not over the top. They went above and beyond. Amazing work from them to make sure everybody can enjoy it. Yeah, this is a fucking showpiece. See if you get this in Demon's Souls. These are the two games you show your PlayStation 5 off with. Fucking great game. And like the fact it came out in July, June, it says that that's 6 months ago. That's a big enough window now for them to go, okay, Last of Us 2 director's cut. £10 upgrade or 60 quid brand new. That's what they're going to do.
Probably.
And that's fine because then it ties in perfect. I'll pay the £10 and I'll probably play it again and go, I don't like this game.
You should still finish that game. It is good. There's good moments in it.
One of my biggest problems is, like, obviously I remember how this ends. You kill the scientists and you take Ellie to the place that you're at. I can't remember the name of it. Like, that was the perfect end. That was it. Wrapped up in a bun. You didn't need a part two. It was like, just assume they lived a life in happiness with the safe haven. The end. And then I went, no, let's force out another one so we can pan Joel's face in with a golf club for no reason. Well, for a reason, but it just was unsatisfying.
Actions have consequences, Ali.
I get what they were trying to do with the story idea, but it's still shit. For the main character of the original game, just like, you play as him on a horse for, I wouldn't even say 2 minutes. You walk up the hill, and then once you get back to town, that's it. And it's fine. I didn't mind playing as Ellie. I didn't even mind the bits that I played as Abby. It's just like, every time I picked up the controller again, I was like, I can't believe they just did that to Joel. That's a fucking. It was just an unsatisfying end to his character. It just really was. And like, oh, but it influenced the decisions Ellie made for the rest of it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You should have given me more time with Joel, or at least DLC or something.
Yeah.
Man. Like, fill in the gaps. Let me play as Joel.
They could have done more playing as Joel at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But they chose to not do that, and they just ripped the Band-Aid off. And they're like, we're going to fucking kill this guy. Boom. Done.
Yeah. So, yeah, Last of Us 1. Honestly, what a game, man, all over again. Like, I've honestly got feelings of, like, you know that way when obviously this isn't nostalgia because this is a remake, but I'm sitting playing it going, yeah, this was fucking good. Oh, this was so fucking good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I'd forgotten how good it was, but we always put Last of Us in our top games. We've always have,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's getting reevaluated. Maybe not as the best game of all time, but its position after me playing this version of the game, this is the way to play it, man. Honestly, fucking good.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that I was so glad like that worked out because I was very worried about it when I bought it. I was like, oh no, because I didn't want it. It wasn't like I was desperate to have it, and I'm pretty sure that I seen it for like 44 in the Black Friday sales like a week before. I could have picked it up then. So yeah, if you see it drop to like 45, like pick it up, man. Honestly.
Nice.
So, and I didn't think I'd be on here recommending this. I really didn't, but I'm like, it's like, see, playing Final Fantasy VII remake. That's a different game.
100%. Yeah.
Like, it's its own thing, and you've said story changes and stuff like that, and I've read up on some of them. But even though this is the same story, like none of the cities the same, and I couldn't flick through the game all night. So what I did was, I couldn't flick backwards and forwards between the remake and the.
Yeah.
So what I did was I watched the video of the comparison. Honestly, like, did I send you the video? Like, watch that video, right? See even the
Digital
gunshot.
Foundry one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See the gunshots at the end. Even the gunshots, they've changed everything. The whole game's changed. Like it is to say, it's weird. It's a remake. It's weird. This is hard to describe because it's the purest remake I've ever played.
Nice.
It's so well done as well. It's not like, oh, they've remade it, but they've messed this up. No, you haven't. They've made everything better, and everything in it's justifiably done. Like I'm playing it with the 3D Pulse headset, Buzzword. Fucking so good, man. Like they've done so much with the audio work. And like I flick back to the old one, it's okay, but it's basically the difference between having like a 2.1 surround sound and then going to a sound bar and a full cinema setup, man. Like everything's around you, you can hear things behind you. Like it's the worst. I had to take it off though. It's not because it's scary, but it's like sometimes it will get you by surprise and you hear, and I'll be like, oh. And it's because there's one like behind the caravan behind you. So yeah, absolutely love this game. And like every minute I put into the game and more story happened. Like it's not one of those where you're like, hurry up story, I want to get to action, or hurry up action, I want to get to story. They've done both so well, man, that you're happy whether you're watching a cutscene or playing, in my mind. And it's like the only thing I do have a gripe, obviously, I was thinking, what have I got to gripe with? I don't think the collectibles are as easy to see. I know it's all jungle and shit, but I mean, Uncharted makes it too obvious because it's like, hey, look here, a big flashing beacon.
Yeah, it's a flashing light. Yeah.
Whereas because Last of Us have got more subdued colours, it's more greys and browns. It's kind of like sometimes the objects you have to walk up to practically in front of them before it's like, oh, cool, there's some stuff. You know, it's different because you can see things in shelves, but if you're out in the city streets, most of it's overgrown and there's something in the middle, you have to explore everywhere. It's just fine if you want to explore, but sometimes there's got to be a happy medium between Uncharted's fucking flare system and like what it's done here. But yeah, apart from that, I can't think of anything it does wrong. Not one bit. Okay, I wasn't a big fan of it. I played it a couple times, but the multiplayer mode's not in it. There might be some folk that don't like that.
I suppose they're bringing out that factions.
Yeah, they're bringing out factions, and it's going to be soon, and that's what I mean.
Yeah,
bring out factions and the director's cut at the same time. That's what you do, man.
Yeah, I would say so.
The only thing is, they're going to have to make it work in PS4, or did they change that? Because they promised it with Last of Us 2.
Factions is only PS5 now.
So this could be standalone, couldn't it? Like a game where
I think they said Factions is free to play.
Well then, yeah, I'm back to my original. The sensible thing to do is before them, even if it's not at the Game Awards, over the next few weeks, what they need to say is Director's Cut, Last of Us 2 is going to be available.
I think you're probably right for that.
And it's going to come with factions. I think Game Awards is the perfect time to announce it, but
yeah, I would say so.
Anyway, we'll finish up there for tonight. We will be back next week. We'll talk about the Game Awards. I don't think we're covering the Game Awards because they start far too late here.
Yeah, no, it's just way too late. It's like 1 in the morning it starts, so fuck that.
And it's like a shorter show than normal, but it's still like 6 hours or something. So I'll catch most of it, but I don't think I'll stay up for the whole thing. But yeah, we'll be back next week to talk about the Game Awards. Thanks very much for tuning in and watching. If you've stuck around this long, great. Think about subscribing. And if you don't, watch the next video. Not really bothered either way. But anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.